All right, geometry, test review, number 86. Okay, assume that the lines in the next part appear to be tangent or tangent. O is the center of the circle. Find the value of x. Well, it tells us the measure of angle P is 12. We know if this is tangent, that's a right angle. So we know the sum of these two angles must be complementary. So 12 plus x must be 90. So subtract 12 to each side. X must be 78. The answer is A. Okay, 87. AB is tangent at B. Find the length of the radius for AB. Okay. AB equals 5 and AO equals 8.6. Right, right triangle, right? So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Well, the hypotenuse in this is the opposite of the right angle, so that's 8.6. So 8.6 squared. A squared, we'll just make it 5 squared, and B squared, we'll make it R. So R squared equals 8.56 squared, or 8.6 squared, minus 5 squared. So R is going to equal the square root of 8.6 squared minus 5 squared. So we can get our handy-dandy calculator out. Okay, and you could have simplified all this beforehand too. Okay, you don't have to follow this direct order. The square root of 8.6 squared minus 5 squared, close parentheses, 6.99. So the answer is B, 7. Okay, 88. JK, KL, and LJ are all tangent. So what do we know? We know this segment's congruent to that segment because tangent points, lines that are tangent to the same circle that start at the same point are congruent. So we're given JA. JA was 9. So we know that must be 9 as well. So I'm going to write 9 and 9. AL is 10. So those two must be, again, 10. And BK or CK was 14. So that must be 14. The question asks for the perimeter. So now we just got to sum these things up. So let's start systematically at L and work our way around. Okay, 10 plus 9 is 19. Plus 9 is 28. Plus 14 is 42. Plus another 14, 56. And plus another 10 is 66. The answer is A, 66. Okay, 89. In the figures, PA, ray PA and PB are tangent to the circle, and PD bisects angle BPA. So what do we know? What's given? We know this is congruent to this. Okay, we also know this is congruent to this. So we know this is congruent to this. Since these are isosceles triangles or congruent triangles, we know everything mirrors. Okay? So we know there's congruency everywhere. Okay, so for the question, the measure of angle AOC, this angle right here, so I'm going to use a highlighter, this angle right here is 46. It wants to find what's the measure of POB. Well, they're congruent, aren't they? So the answer is 46, C. Okay. 90 says for angle AOC, okay, that's the same angle. So that angle right there is 50. Find the measure of BPO. Well, where in the world is BPO? So there's B, there's P, and there's O. So that angle down there. Well, let's think about this for a second. Okay, well, if it's tangent, what do we know about this angle and this angle? They're both 90. We know these two angles at the bottom are congruent. These two. All right. So we know the smaller angle down here at the bottom has to be that angle. So the measure of angle OPA plus 50 must equal 90. How do we know that? Because we know the sum of the three angles of a triangle must be 180. So OPA is going to be equal to 40. If OPA is equal to 40, the measure of PBO is going to be 40 as well. So the answer is 40A. Okay, next problem. Find the value of x. Okay, x is the radius. The cool thing about the radius is the same length wherever we draw it. So we're going to draw the radius here. So that's still x. But now we got a cool right triangle. So we got a base of 7, and what is this length right here? Well, it's going to be half of 23. The reason we know it's half is because this is a perpendicular bisector. Any line perpendicular to the radius is bisected by the radius inside of a circle. So we know that is 11.5. So Pythagorean theorem tells us x squared equals 7 squared plus 11.5 squared. So x is going to be the square root of that, 7 squared plus 11.5 squared. And that's just base calculator work for us. So the square root of 7 squared plus 11.5 squared, close parentheses, 13.46. We'll round it up to D. Okay, 92. Find the value of x. Well, our lines are chords inside of a circle that intersect. We know there is a unique property where there's a ratio of their parts. Okay, so we know 10 times x, this part times this part, is equal to this part times this part. So it's equal to 8 times 15. So 10x is equal to 120. Divide each side by 10. X is equal to 12. Okay, 93. Okay, we learned another property about this, so let's fill in the data we know. AB is 20. BC is 6. CD is 8. So we learned something about lines that go through a circle. Their length, okay, so the length of the top one is 8 plus x. That's the entire length. So their length times the part outside the circle, which is 8, is equal to the length of the other line times its outside part. So we get 8 plus x times 8 equals 26 times 6. Then I got 26 because it's just 20 plus 6. So I get 8 plus x equals 26 times 6 over 8. Okay? So we can do that on our calculator. That's good calculator work for us. So 26 times 6 divided by 8 is 19.5. So 8 plus x equals 19.5. Subtract 8 to each side. X is going to equal 11.5. So again, hopefully you're noticing a lot of this is real easy math if you know the formulas and you know the theorems. So study those. Okay, the radius of the circle is 18. OC is 13. Find AB. Okay, let's look at AB. Here's AB. Well, I can find half of AB, right? So we can make that x. So let's make a note. AB is going to equal 2x, right? 2 of those. So now I can use the Pythagorean theorem to find x. So I can say x squared plus 13 squared equals 18 squared. I can say x squared equals 18 squared minus 13 squared. I can say x equals the square root of 18 squared minus 13 squared. Okay, and then to get 2x, or AB, remember AB equals 2x, so I could say AB is going to equal 2 times the square root of 18 squared minus 13 squared. And again, you could have simplified this and used your calculator earlier. I'm just trying to show you how to do it, systematically. So 2 times the square root of 18 squared minus 13 squared. 24.89. So the answer is C. What do you notice? They have answer A right here to trick you. That's why, if you notice, the first thing I did was say, hey, make sure we know what we're trying to find. We're trying to find the length of AB. Okay, 95. There's about 15 different ways to solve this one, so it doesn't matter what you see. I'm just going to show what I see. Okay, the measure of angle R is 22. So that's 22. Find the measure of angle O. Well, the inscribed angle, or the captured arc angle, is always twice of the inscribed angle. So if angle R is 22, this measure of this arc is 44. Since O is the center, the central arc and the central angle are the same. So the measure of angle O is 44 degrees. 96. Find the measure of angle X. Well, if the arc BC is 46, the inscribed angle, okay, so the measure of angle A is 1/2 of the measure of arc BC. So that is going to be 1/2 times 46, so it's going to be 23. Answer C. 97. Find the measure of BAC. So we're trying to find this angle right here. Okay? A lot of different ways we could do this one. A lot of different ways. So you've got to decide what's the easiest way for you. Okay? The easiest way for me is this. I know this angle and this angle are the same. So this is an isosceles triangle. So I know measure of angle A and the measure of angle B must be the same. And I know the sum of all three of those angles has to be 180, correct? So we can just call this X. So I know X plus 66 must equal 180. 2X plus 66 equals 180. Subtract 66, so 2X is going to equal 1. 14, divide each side by 7, or by 2. X is going to equal 57. Okay. Are there other ways you could have found it? Absolutely. You could have used captured angles, all that good stuff. Okay, this is 66 degrees. Okay, this angle and this angle have to sum 180. So this angle over here would have been 114. This is an inscribed angle, half of that, 57. Okay, 98. If the arc BY, if that is 40, what is YAC? So what is this? Okay, this is a right angle. The inscribed angle is 20, so YAC must be 90 minus 20, so it must be 70. The answer is C. Okay. Okay, number 99. The measure of arc DE, 96. And the measure of arc BC is 67. So it says find the measure of angle A. Well, since A is outside the circle, the measure of angle A is equal to 1/2 the difference of the intercepted arcs, which would be 96 minus 67. So that's going to be 1/2 of 29. 1/2 of 29 is 14.5. Answer is A. Okay, number 100. Find the value of x if the measure of arc AB is 46 and the measure of arc DC or CD is 25. Well, since that angle x is inside the circle, the measure of angle x is going to be equal to 1/2 the sum of the two intercepted arcs, which would be 25 plus 46. That's 71. So that's going to be 1/2 of 71, which is 35.5. Answer is A. 101. Find the diameter for circle BC if BC is 16 and DC is 12. So find the diameter. Find that length right there. Well, we have a relationship tangent, if you remember, about tangent lines and secant lines. So we can say 28 squared, basically this length right there squared, equals the outside length of the other line, 16, times the entire length of the other line, of 16 plus D. So solve for D, basically. Divide everything by 16. So I got 28 squared over 16 equals 16 plus D. So subtract 16. So I got 28 squared over 16 minus 16 equals D. So we'll get our handy dandy calculator out. And we can turn it on and get to work. So here's what we got. 28 squared divided by 16 minus 16 equals 33. So D equals 33. Again, the answer is A. 102. Write the standard equation for a circle. Well, the equation for a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where the center is h comma k and the radius is r. So this example would be x minus 2 squared plus y minus 7 squared equals 4 squared, which equals really 16. Answer C. 102. The center is -6 and -8 and passes through 0, 0. So we know the base of the equation is going to be x minus -6 squared, so x plus 6 squared, plus y minus -8 squared, which would be x plus 6 squared plus y plus 8 squared, equals the radius squared. So we still need to find that. Well, we know the distance of any radius is from the center to the side, so we can say the radius squared is nothing more than the change of x squared plus the change of y squared. So here's an x and y value, an x and y value. So 0 minus -6 is 6, so that would be 6 squared. 0 minus -8 for the y's would be 8, and we square it squared. So r squared is going to be 36 plus 64. So our r squared value is 100. So we can put that right where r squared is. So x plus 6 squared plus y plus 8 squared equals 100. So the answer is D. Okay, last problem. Find the center and the radius of the circle with the equation x plus 9 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 64. Well, if you remember, it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So h must be -9, k must be -5, and r squared must be 64. So r must be 8. So the center of this circle is -9, -5, and the radius is 8. The answer is D.